For our diode circuit, and this is going to work very similar to other circuits, right? But for the diode circuit shown, and again, this is going to work very similar, even if it's a little bit different. We're just going over the different types and what it means. What will the output voltage V out be? So we're finding voltage output. We're asked what will it be in volts if the input voltage V is equal to 5 volts. So this is our first important piece of information here. Let's write this out. Our V here is 5 volts. And then we need to assume that the diode is turned on. The voltage across it will be 0.7 volts. So we have 0.7 volts across this diode. For the battery, we have our voltage 1 is equal to 7.8 volts. So across here, we're going to have 7.8 volts. That means in this entire branch, we should have 8.5 volts. And also we have these resistor values here that we're going to look at in a second. So if we look at the different types of diodes circuits that we have, it's going to look, if we just omit the RL and the voltage output really quickly, it's going to look something like this last one. But we see the diodes in the opposite direction. So really it's going to look something like this top one and also this bottom one. So if we are to draw a little graph of this, and we'll just make one right over here, we could say the following. We could say, well, we know that this 8.5 volts is going to be what we have, right? And so as it is up here, with the diode going this way, pointing in this direction, we're going to have the opposite, where we're going to have to go this way because the diode is pointing like that, in the upwards. And so that means we're going to have our negative 8.5 here. And this is just the voltage output. And then we have our voltage like input here. And so knowing this with our negative 8.5, we can analyze this. When we have a negative 8.5, we are going to look at the limits, right? So our limit is right here. And when we're at the limit, we are going to have the voltage from our diode flow in this way. So this is at the limit. Otherwise, we are going to have our voltage from here, because it's less than, flow this way. And we see, well, we're at 5 volts. And 5 volts is like, let's say, up here for our voltage input, right? 5 volts here. And if we are to look at this, well, 5 volts, we can see, is definitely not anywhere near the negative 8.5, which is this right here. It's not near this. And this would go on like this. This is our limit. So it's nowhere near this. And so that means that this current is going to go to our voltage output. And that means that right here, since this is less than our 5 volts here, right, it's going to act as an open circuit. So if we are to draw this in green, look like this, and then we would just have this right here and then this right here. Not like a capacitor, but, and we'll just draw it like this actually. And we'll draw 2 little nodes here to symbolize an open circuit. Also write that it's open. So since it's an open circuit, acting like an open circuit when it's over here. Since it's acting like an open circuit, we just have this voltage, we have this resistance, and then this voltage output. Now, it would be a little bit different if we had like the arrow pointing this way. We could see that we would be at like 8.5, and so that would be a little bit different. But since we have how we have here, we're just going to use voltage division. So voltage division is where we take our voltage output and set it equal to our voltage input, and then we multiply it by the resistance that it's over. In this case, it's going to be our RL. And then, with that done, we are going to put this over the resistors with each other. So we're going to have R plus RRL. And now we can plug in our values. So if we have our 5 volts, right, times our RL, which is 15.7, and the 15.7 plus our 1.9, which is the other resistor. Note, I omitted the kiloohms because they're just going to cancel out. This is going to give us a value of 4.46 volts. And that would be the answer for this problem and how you would go about solving for it.